14th, 2024 for the town of Fairview. So welcome. This time, Patricia Henry will be giving our invocation.
We bow our heads. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, as we come before you at the end of a beautifully created day, we ask for your presence with us here in the Fairview Town Hall as we strive to make the best decisions that we can for our town and our citizens. Please hear our prayers. Amen.
And please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, does anyone at this time have any agenda changes they'd like to add to the agenda for tonight? Hearing. We have the, what I'd like to call for a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
Not consent agenda.
Regular agenda, I'm sorry, regular agenda.
I move that we approve the regular agenda as printed here.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, show of raising hand. Thank you. Now, we need a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
And we have one quick thing. This is something I think changed in the recent past. 5-1 normally used to be a standalone approval, and we had a consent agenda because this is going to happen on a periodic basis every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
So it's in there, so that's why we're doing it a little bit different, just to save a little confusion. So, do we have a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, show of your hand. Thank you. Any public comments today? No. Presentations? No. Okay, items of business, so we'll go right into those. Approve the remote participation policy for meetings at town of Fairview. Did anyone, did everyone get a chance to look at it and understand it? Any questions about it? So John, we were going to do remote tonight unofficially, and John's flight changed, so he couldn't be there to do Zoom. So if you understand that and see this and agree with it, I hear a motion to approve the remote participation policy for meetings at town of Fairview.
I move that we approve the remote participation policy for meetings of the town of Fairview going forward.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, show up with the hand approval of a remote participation policy for meetings of town of Fairview. Thank you. 8B, discuss/approve hiring new part-time park/town maintenance technician. Okay, this we'd like to explain a little bit further before we get into it. And did you want to go into it further? Or did you want me to?
No, you skip.
Okay, you see in your packet with this Teresa, they went out and contacted, it was Indian Trail and Huntersville.
Well, I contacted all of the clerks.
Clerks.
I only got information back from the trail.
And so what this is, and go into further discussion to know why she contacted them, it's, and we're making an assumption that with the addition of the trail and everything's taking place in the park, that we're probably going to have more and more use of the park in the sense of when the trail gets going, you're probably going to start seeing trash go out along the trail that have to be picked up at some point in time. And right now, the people that are doing the policy open up, the current policy open up the park and picking up trash and cleaning the bathrooms and with all those things. I think they'll exceed the expectation of what they agreed to do and also possibly their capability of doing what would need to be done. So the discussion about this is, what we're asking for tonight is to look at the, what other towns are doing, how they're approaching it, is allow us let Ed and I, if based on your approval through a motion, to look into this further, as to how we go about it. And part of the thing we talked about down the road is, I think it's, I would see once again expectations for them to have to walk all the way a mile and a half out and back to pick up trash. So down the road, we're looking at, it was in a previous meeting where we can look into the possibility of the town buying an ATV, be able to, one, go out, pick up trash, bring things back. Also, for some reason, somebody would need to get hurt or something needs to happen, we utilize that, bring somebody back. Of course, little things like that, just an overall use of the vehicle. So this is not being approved tonight. We just want to give us the capability to look at it and bring it back to the council for approval based on the job description, and we'll be taking input about job description, also what the Tanya, and keep her job as it is, the one she's doing the bathrooms and that stuff. This would be in addition, probably at a shorter work schedule, and we don't know what it would cost, and we're looking into that. The recommendation discussion, how to go about doing this, or what you think would be appropriate, or it wouldn't be a full-time thing, it'd just be when we need it done, basically.
So tonight, it's only a recommendation to move forward, to look into it further, to investigate what other parks are doing and develop salary.
Yeah.
and game plan.
Tweak what we've already got, if you
Yes.
have changes or whatever.
But it's open to suggestions to modify if we need to. It's all, and I guess the bottom line is the other ones they contacted, they probably have a lot more money in their checking account than we do in ours, so they may have things that we probably couldn't do at this time and maybe down the road.
Well, Indian Trails that they sent me was 4 pages long.
So like I said, so tonight, if anyone would like to make the motion, that we go ahead and and I assume, we discussed earlier, to let Ed and I together investigate, or somebody else would want to investigate and come back to the council as to which, how we proceed. So I just need a motion for that.
I move that we authorize the mayor with Ed's assistance to pursue moving forward in the appropriate manner for determining salary range and other details so that we can move forward on this issue.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, up with your hand. Thank you. Okay, item 8C, at the last meeting, we had discussed and had the handout for the audit contract, and then basically today we are approving payment of the J.B. Watson audit, or J.B. Watson Company for the future audit for the town of Fairview. And, that's basically what we're asking for.
For next year.
For next year.
23, 24.
Yeah, 23,
24, 25.
24, 25.
So, yeah.
23, 24.
23.
Yeah, we done like 23 behind, brother.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking of next year. You messed me up thinking about that. It's 23, 24 fiscal year.
Discussion, decide what year it was, yeah.
23, 24.
23, 24. Okay, 23, 24.
Fiscal year.
I've already written checks, that's a moot point, so whatever. So, do I hear a motion? Did you make it already? I lost it. Did you make
I'll
it?
make it.
I lost it.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the J.B. Watson audit contract as presented.
Wait a second.
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, show of look at hand. Okay, item 8D, this was brought up at the retreat, and the reason it was brought up is as far as so many of our meetings occur at night, and the different committees meet at night, that because of construction, we're limited parking, Ed and Bill Riff will put down parking spots in the back, so we'll be able to park in the back. And at some point in time, we're going to add additional parking spots up front. We don't know when that will occur. So in the interest of safety for all involved, and walking, all that, it was suggested that we look into add additional lighting back there. Ed, you want to?
Yeah, and all we're gonna do is we met with Duke Energy and 4 LED lights will light up that whole back and side. And we think that would be sufficient to make sure that the back parking lot was lit if we did use it. And we think the $63 a month is probably in line. That's a fee every month you pay for per light.
Or no,
Total.
Total.
About 20 total, I'm sorry.
total, yes.
And do we have lighting, because I've never come in that way at night, up that walkway, the covered walkway to those lights?
We
Oh,
put
that's what-
solar
yeah,
lights
so-
up there,
solar.
Okay, so that's it.
yeah.
Okay,
and they tend to work fine. We don't use it very often.
Right.
We use the front door. We thought about it being that the Board of Elections is gonna use that room for a couple of weeks. You know, they may leave later and have to walk out the back door, so we need lights back there.
What was the work time, like the lead time on this work order, like how long?
Who knows? Now,
We're talking Duke Power.
Right,
it was union power. It'd be-
I would think 3 weeks, maybe,
so,
after we sign the contract.
okay. So we have that early voting coming up, don't we?
I know, it won't be in time for that, because that starts tomorrow, really,
Okay,
or Thursday.
Thursday.
Is the early voting only during daylight hours or does that run at night?
7:30 at night.
Okay.
7
7:30,
in the morning till 7:30 night.
8 to
Yeah,
7:30,
7:30.
except on Saturday and Sunday. It's different times.
So it's dark now, the lights going out to the parking lot they can see, but in the parking lot, it will probably be dark.
Is that the route that the early voting is gonna come
Yes.
into the building?
Everybody.
Everybody will be parking back there except for handicap. They will have handicap up here.
And I guess, and I'm just making an assumption that, since we're letting them use the building at no charge, that maybe if it comes out to be an issue, they may want to consider putting in some kind of lighting themselves out there, maybe we'll rent one of those, a generator, if it becomes an issue.
Right.
So we can always ask them if the people are concerned about it, tell them, well, we're not charging, but people are not real happy and want them to come out. Is that something we could approach them with?
Sorry.
Is that a state or a county?
County.
Can.
County decision.
That's the,
But I would recommend we go ahead and approve this and
I do too.
have the mayor sign it and stuff.
Yeah, if and when. But we have a motion to approve the lighting service agreement for town hall.
Yeah, I'll make that motion that we move forward with the Duke Energy lighting contractual agreements for the parking lot and the side lot.
And give the mayor the authority to sign the contract.
And give the mayor the authority to sign the contract.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? They all agree to show up with the hand. Thank you. Is anything, while we've done this, that's come up to your mind that you want to add to the order of business now, or we're proceeding on?
Well, you've approved the agenda. So
Yeah. So you can do it.
I can't do anything. If I want to, I can't do it.
in comments, you can.
Okay. I'm gonna comment that I can't do anything.
Well, if you knew, why didn't you say something a minute ago?
I had time to think about it.
You don't know the future, do you?
Yeah, we're
What?
learning.
He says you don't know the future? You know.
You roll your eyes.
I'll try to.
I know he's learning. You know?
Well, he's the mayor, he can do what he wants, right?
Pretty much.
The
Commander
commander
Robert
says.
says.
Yeah.
I tell you, if I was mayor, I'd stop all this talking. If I was mayor.
Is this initiation week? I think it is.
Yeah, I think I want to add sergeant of arms to this list of business items. Okay, council comments, I'll start with David, if you have any comments you'd like to make in regards to anything you want to talk about.
A really dumb and simple question.
Uh-oh.
When you ask, no, you don't even have to write this down. When you ask for a raised hand, does it matter which hand you raise? Does Robert rules require the right hand or the left hand or just a raised hand?
I'd say it probably doesn't matter because not everyone has.
All right. Ed said it doesn't matter.
Usually people say if you use your right hand usually,
Right,
but no, there's no rule.
okay. I'll be that guy.
You left-handed?
No.
Oh.
And
That guy.
I'll look.
I understand.
Okay.
I think I thought this is up with the
I've
town.
actually got a Robert's rule book on my desk.
I've got a Rob Food Water book for boundaries on my desk. It's not doing any good.
So, I do not have any other.
I was just gonna comment, something that came up in our retreat was that we needed to move forward, with a story walk that is planned for the park. And it was suggested that David and I, go to the park and walk and look for an appropriate site. And he actually brought his wife Jane, who's on the facilities
She's
or
on,
the
what's it
event
called?
facilities committee. So I had two really good people there with me, and we were in agreement on, the part of the park that we thought would be, a good site for the story walk. Then I went back with Gary and Ed, and they looked. So, at this point, I'm getting ready to, begin to map it out. There's a friend of mine on the event committee who's going to help do that. So I'm pleased that we're moving forward. And I think that's all I have to.
Just, I'll go last. Sorry. Any comments like that? Well, thank you. I want to add on to that for the park itself. It's something you may or may not be aware of. And it was mentioned before that the Leonard and Penny Love donated a fountain for the park. Yeah, I think everybody's aware of that. I'm not sure our guests are aware or not. But we can talk to Leonard. They've got a fountain. It's they provided the pump, and they'll provide the wire for the pump, and a timer for the pump, and it's up to us to have it installed. The question would be, for us, we were walking around, they talked about this, for those of you not be aware of it, it takes 220 voltage. When we had the lights put up around the park and the outlets installed around the park for the festivals we have, anticipating the being a stage at the far end of the pond, we went ahead and had them put up a box down there, electrical box, and it is 220. So at this point in time, we need to pursue it. And he has the potential to be able to bore underneath the walkway, bring the line underneath. So we need to look. That would be an ideal way to bring that in the pond. It's just a matter of where we want it in the pond. It's been brought to my attention anyway too that it'd be nice if it was lighted. But if we do decide to light it, that would be at our expense. So we need to get a quote on what it'd be and bring it back to the council if we want to pursue it and what it would cost to pursue it if it's reasonable. So we'll get back to you on that. But they've got the pump, it's ready to go. We just got to decide if we want to proceed further. He's going to let me know more about that. For those, is everybody up here that tonight is aware of the community meeting we had with over the zoning change 2 weeks ago? So there's some questions that came up about the process, and so Ed and Teresa went through and got the process you have to go through for any zoning change. It's on the website now, right? It's going to be.
What are you talking about? Oh, the memo I sent to you.
Right, but
Is that the plan?
is that on the website now?
That procedure is on the website.
Yeah, it's in the ordinance.
So if somebody, the reason I'm saying is make yourself familiar with it, because I'm getting phone calls with questions, and basically just refer them to the website, because it's just to read it, and they want to have further questions, come back to the town as to what exactly it says, if you don't understand it, and go through it. But it's a 3-step process. The first step was a community meeting. The next step process is they come up, see, if they want to go to a zoning change from RA 40 to light, in the light industrial. Light industrial. So this is a process you gotta go through, so they'll be meeting, the parties will be meeting with the building committee, on the 20th of February. So, planning board, on the 20th of February, so but that's as per published, procedure, we're following that, so just, and if you wanna go to that, I went to the first one, just sat in the back and just watched. You can go to the planning board meeting as well, and then also, whatever comes out of that meeting, it'll be presented, if it proceed forward at the March meeting of our meeting, for us to, make a decision at that point in time. Any questions?
At that planning board meeting, what happens there? Is it presented by the people making the request and then any concerns or issues, or what happens?
No, it's presented to the planning board by me and the Haglers.
Okay,
The public comment, you can have public comment at that meeting, but it's just comment.
okay,
Like the, I guess you can have comment from the public at that meeting. There will be questions that will be asked from the planning board that are, if I can't answer them, they'll be directed to the Haglers. The comments from the public, they're in a public comment form. They got 3 minutes to say the piece. Try not to argue a point between the two, but usually it's a little bit more relaxed than the council meeting. And so there is some interaction between the council and the planning board, which is okay. It's up to the chairman, how he handles that. With the presentation to the council, it will be the 3 minutes they will have. I'll explain it to you. You'll ask questions, and then you'll have the 3 minutes on the comments from the public. No, that's not right. There will be a public hearing at the council meeting. I'm sorry. Then at the public hearing, then the public can ask questions or make statements about the request. Here again, we try not to argue the point too much at the public hearings, but we want everybody to understand what's happening. And usually after it's gone through the community, the neighbors know about it, the community knows about it, the planning board knows about it, it gets to you. It's a pretty, they're just wanting to tell you how they feel about it.
so if the planning board denies the request, does it stop there, or does it come to us? Okay.
It's up to the petitioner. He can, I have had a petitioner say, I'll just withdraw it at that point.
Right.
If he doesn't have the planning board support, pretty good indication he wouldn't have the council. But the petitioner has the option of taking it to the council regardless of the decision of the planning board. But the law says you have to have a recommendation from the planning board to the council. Regardless, they can not tell you, have the meeting and not recommend anything. They can recommend no or yes or split. But
Okay.
That's it. Well, I was just gonna ask, when is the planning board meeting?
next Tuesday night, they meet the third Tuesday night in the month,
And what time is that?
6:30 in this room.
In here?
And if the question should come up, and I'm sure it probably will at some point in time now, but not later. The town sent out letters to people within 500, property owners within 500 feet of the property in question.
That's the community
In this
meeting.
case, there were 17 families that were involved, and so they were made aware of the meeting, and I don't know how many were there, but the question came up, is how come people in other parts of Fairview weren't aware of it? Well, by regulation, it's not published anywhere. So what I asked Ed to do was, and he suggested, or backed me up, was that's why we wanted to put it out on the website, what the things were, so people know why we did what we did and how it's done. for down the road, so, which is, I think at my Fairview, whoever set this policy up, it's 500 feet for adjacent property owners, Union County is 100 feet. So you've got a lot more people exposed to it than you do in Union County, which I think is a good thing. So 20th will be the next event, and then wherever it goes after that will be, come up before the council, so. Any other questions about that?
I got a public question. Before break, you had talked about doing a phone call service for people because people hadn't been checking the Facebook about knowing when to come to meetings. Was there any traction on that?
Not at this point in time, I haven't heard any.
Well, I thought it was, you were the one doing it. You were setting up like, it was gonna be like a voice message system.
It hadn't come before the council, I still get it, it is available, you looked at it at one time, we made the hell, it was quite a while ago, that we made a reference to.
It was like, what, September, October?
Yeah, so I don't know where we are with that, did we decide to table it? I can't remember.
We just kind of dropped it there.
We sort of tabled it for the time being. It just didn't seem like it was cost effective or a real benefit at this time. That may be later.
Would an automatic email system be better?
Yeah, if you could get emails,
Emails, that's the
addresses and
Well, you would-
all that stuff, so
You would
you'd
have the
do a
people
lot
who are
of,
interested to
yeah,
submit their emails.
yeah.
And we have
We're trying
tried
to do
that, and people
Now, we've
don't
got
cooperate.
a
They won't give us-
list who have requested that,
Yeah.
and we send that out.
Mhm.
So if you're on the list that want to be notified, we could get you notified. But that's all we have done so far.
And the system that I mentioned is a system that I used in American Legion and other things, and a lot of people have been doing that for a long time, and it still generates a lot of confusion, because it'll show the return phone numbers from Oklahoma, and so they won't listen to it, because it's not from the local area. And then every time I would do it, it'd be a phone call from somebody, say, did you call me? And, yeah, I did, so I ended up reading it to them anyway, so it's, and I was dealing with 100 people as opposed to 2,000 or 3,000 people, so I'm not sure that there may be better options.
It would
than
be
that.
so much easier if we had public works or something that we could send out information when we send out a monthly bill or whatever they like.
Because as of right now, the only way to know whether a meeting's been canceled or there is gonna be meetings is on Facebook.
That's, most people look at the Facebook or they don't even look at the website, so.
Well, yeah, I can tell you most people never look at the website. I can tell you, few people are even on the Facebook, people I talk to.
Mhm.
So even less people are paying attention to Facebook. So I don't know if it'd be easier to have some sort of automated email system that says, meeting, here's what's on the meeting, here's gonna be, I don't know if you wanna broadcast any of your meetings, but things like that, because I know there's a general feeling of something's being done behind someone's back, but.
Well, I guess one, in the case of, the case of zoning, for example, zoning that is not an instantaneous happening.
Right.
And this is being taped now in video to, if somebody has an interest, they can go back on YouTube this week.
Correct.
And
No,
they can
right
see-
now.
Yeah, right now, and you can go see the information that's being
The
discussed
community
here.
meeting was videotaped, was it?
No, that wasn't, but things that take place here, you can go back and you find out what the information is.
Really for the time.
I'm just telling you how people feel. I'm not telling you whether they're right or
Yeah.
wrong. I'm just telling you the way people, I'm talking to feel about the community meeting.
Well, like I said, it's, and you can address it better than I can, but my understanding is that by policy, it says 17 people sent out, received letters, and it doesn't go any more beyond that.
Right.
And we think we're
And
doing better.
technically, the community meeting does not have to be done by us. It's supposedly done by
The developer.
the
or
developer or
request.
whoever wants this. We just, no more than we have, we help out and offer the place because everybody's a location that everybody can.
So what is the intent of that first meeting? We're calling the community meeting. Is it just to make the people in that general area aware, I want to rezone this property and I'm
And
not.
I'm telling you first,
Because
get your
you're
input
close,
if you have any.
Right.
Taking what you say,
Okay,
just because they're the ones most affected is the neighbors.
so what I just heard you say is that Union County's requirement is only 100 feet adjacent. but Fairview is 500 feet.
That's
The
correct.
council
correct.
decided to go further out than
Right.
what Union County did.
100 feet's not very far, but, especially not out here.
Right.
Okay.
You know, and we've talked about this for years. I've been in this business for years. Communication to the residents has always been an issue and a challenge to any town. Because most people don't have lives to live, and they're thinking about what they're doing, or their children, or their school, whatever. They're not thinking about you. You may think they are,
Right.
but they're not. Getting people to be engaged in the town like he is, one person.
Right.
And that's all it is in Fairview. We put it on YouTube, we put it on Facebook, we have a way you can be emailed everything. We do. If they want to come to the meeting, they're welcome. If they want to call me or Teresa, they're always welcome to do that. And we post it on we do everything we possibly can, but you can't take that horse and make it drink if it doesn't want to. We continue to try. If we had more activity and as we grow, that option may be one that we consider more. But what happens is we don't have a rezoning but a couple times a year, and then people get all excited that, oh, well, you know that one we had about 3 or 4 years ago, that was bad, and I wasn't notified then, so they're trying to do something behind my back. If they would call me, I could explain it to them, and many do call me and say, what's happening? I explain to them, oh, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to.
And have they explained too, since what took place 2 years ago, the way you go about doing rezoning changed. As far as how, because we had multiple community meetings before because it was under a different system, is that correct? In a way?
Well, in a way, it's because it was so many.
Yeah.
With the property, it was like 800
Acres.
acres, so we had to divide it up and kind of.
It was much more complicated.
Yeah.
More people were involved, more neighbors were involved.
Yeah,
You can imagine 800 acres and how many people lived around it. So there was not 17, but we mailed a bunch of them.
I guess now in Florida, you know, we're kind of talking about lack of transparency. This has all been done by, nothing not transparent about it.
No.
But there's no reason why those that do know about it should pass the word on. And like I said, if they don't know, call up here and ask us, because we're not hiding anything.
No. And never have. And no town tries to do that. All our meetings are public. They have to be public. By law, have to be public. So if you're breaking the law, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But if everybody was like him, this room would be full. And we wouldn't have any trouble with volunteers either.
Isn't there supposed to be like a rezoning notice posted of before you have a public hearing? In that, according to North
That is
Carolina
correct.
statute,
That is correct. And it will be.
before then you have the public, so.
But even then,
Because I don't think there's anything going underhanded, I just think,
even then, that'd only be on Brett Havler, so unless you're driving on that road, you wouldn't even see it.
Exactly.
But it will be there because that's the law. I have to do that.
As
But you're
soon as
right.
he does the public.
But really, that rezoning really pertains to that area, really. I mean, if you live on Brief Road, you may not even know where that is.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's,
What does he want to do over there anyway?
let's say it's hard to, you will hear it next week.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You got a memo the other day.
You just have to get excited.
So,
Indian Trail didn't even give me a rezoning, a community meeting when they were rezoning the property next to our building. They just told me about the planning board meeting.
well, I've got 2 ways I rezone something, conditionally or special use permit. So there's 2 ways to do it. On the conditional, like this particular one, there's not a quasi judicial to it. So it's a lot easier to understand. They voted up, down, whatever. Quasi judicial is a little bit more difficult in that it's quasi judicial. It's like a hearing, and only certain things can happen in that hearing. And that's when you keep something zoned correctly and get a special use permit. Or if you're not changing the zoning, you're getting a special use permit. A lot of uses just require a special use permit. I know that's a lot of information.
Teresa, anything to add?
No.
Gerald?
Well, yeah, just Ed told me y'all discussed the town grant, or the grant from the state at your retreat. So just kind of keep that in mind as far as the scope of work, because we have to have it spent by October 25. So I'm sure we will, but just kind of keep that in mind.
We have,
How are we gonna spend that today?
I'll help you down.
at the retreat too, I think, we talked about the total monies we have and the way we want to approach it. And Daryl he has to send in a report to the state saying, well, we're thinking about doing this, 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 and this. And I think at the retreat, we sort of funneled our thoughts to the amphitheater and getting information on that and maybe starting there. And there may be additional things we have to do there, like sidewalks or bathrooms or whatever, and that will more than take that money. So we've already developed sort of a scope, an idea, if you will. And we have contacted John Wood with Benish, and he'll probably have a quote to you next time about doing the site plan, what we want to do at the amphitheater. We have also talked about a local resident who will probably can build the amphitheater for us. So we're on the way. We're working on it, but it'll probably be the site plan this year, amphitheater next year, and then the money will be spent.
Well, with the second money though, it goes beyond 20. The second money past 25. Was it 26? Was it 25 as well?
No, it's October 25.
That's for all of total.
The one that was just
The 100,000.
approved. Right?
So that the remaining, what is it, 100 or roughly thereabouts that we have, does it run out earlier than October 25?
Probably.
I think it's 20. I think it's this year, isn't it?
Probably is this year.
Okay, we need to look into that and make sure we don't stump our toe and leave that money.
Well, we're gonna do the story walk, so there'll be money involved with that.
It won't be 100,000.
Not 100,000, but then the site plan, that'll cost some.
Yeah.
And any work that start on the site plan,
Right.
any kind, not construction, but excavation or whatever.
One thing we need to do too is we need to put signs in the park, 24-hour video surveillance and patrol by Union County Deputy Association. That's a big deterrent. There's no signs up there. Even though it is electronically video.
Yeah,
That would help, because I'm telling you, get back up there walking, Patricia, you know how me and my wife, we met you walking back in there, it would be nice to, and those lights are great, but it would be nice to have some signs. I think that's a deterrent.
Spencer, you have anything?
I do.
Okay.
So I came to you guys at the retreat and I said, we are overwhelmed with no volunteers. So we, I work at Fairview now. My mom works at Fairview. We went to our PTO, which is just parents that are really involved with the school. And we asked kind of, you're the school Fairview, this is the town of Fairview. We kind of want to be like Unionville a little bit, and we'd love to say, look at our Fairview community. So we're kind of dancing around the thought of possibly the concert night, which is June the 7th, Fairview School getting in on it with us and advertising that this is a Fairview School end of year bash and it's the town of Fairview concert night, kind of having a big little blowout. They're in the process of, because the PTO is a bunch of moms that are awesome and they volunteer a lot of their time. And it's the same ones volunteering every time, just like us. And we said, if we were to merge, we could bring two committees together and help each other out. So we're thinking of, they're dancing around the idea. They're trying to figure out how many volunteers they could get. If we get that going, our concert night will also be like a carnival night. And on the other side of the park, we'll have some games for kids, like a dunking booth, face painting, things like that. And we would just put a little bit of money into it, which we're going to do anyways for the concert night, and just kind of seeing how we could possibly help us and help them, just to let you guys know. I don't know if that's going to take off. They're going to let me know in the next couple weeks how many people they could get, and see how that would work. But just so you know.
If I remember correctly, I think you said at the last meeting that there is no Easter egg hunt this year, right?
no.
Correct.
Is that word getting out?
honestly have not advertised that there's not one because nobody's asked if there is one, if you want me to be honest.
Did your church, has anybody at your church said anything about doing anything for the Easter egg hunt?
No, but I had let them know that the town was not
Yeah.
doing
All right.
They're also wanting to be in on the carnival night if we do it with the concert. Bethlehem has already agreed that they wanted to help out with us. So
Okay, I guess just one last thing, unless someone else will bring something up. As you know, it's election time, and one of our local officials is Dean R. And he's and those that don't know Dean, he's a really good person, but he's in a really good position on the committee he's on. And he's highly in favor of doing what he can as a committee chairman, getting money for the local parks to have handicap playground equipment. So if you ever somewhere, and I saw him in an event last weekend and said, you know, we don't have any handicap playground equipment. So if you can keep this in mind, so anybody else around somebody that has some pull, mention, because that's something that, you know, it's not cheap, and if they can do it, and that's something they really want to do, you know, bring it up and let them know maybe we can get some of that and use our money for other things. Anybody else has anything else they'd like to mention? I hear a motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
A second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Call meeting adjourned. Thank you.